Hello guys, my name is Kapil. Today we are going to learn Excel VLOOKUP formula with the help of different examples. Before I start, I request you to please subscribe my YouTube channel or click on bell icon to get the notifications. So let's start. What is VLOOKUP formula? VLOOKUP is a vertical lookup formula which you will use to looking up the value vertically in the database and pull the relevant values. So let's understand this in detail. So see this employee code. These employee codes I want to look up in this dummy data. My data is placed vertically in the dummy data. So if I copy this employee code and if I go here, you can see the employee codes are listed vertically. So that is why I am going to use VLOOKUP formula. Let me start writing this VLOOKUP formula here. VLOOKUP bracket on. Now you can see these arguments. You can write the formula either in this cell itself or in this formula bar, or you can click on this insert function. In insert function you can see there are 4 arguments. So these 4 arguments we need to write. First is lookup value. Lookup value is the value which you want to look up in the database. This should be always in the left side in the database. That is the limitation of VLOOKUP formula. Table array. Table array means the database from where you want to look up the values. Column index number is the position of the column from where you want to pull the data. Range lookup. Range lookup is the approximate match you want to perform. There are 2 range lookups, true and false. False means the exact match. Let's start writing this formula now. I'll be writing VLOOKUP bracket on. I'll be selecting this lookup value, comma, table array. I'll be selecting this entire database A1 to G101, comma, the column index number. As I told you, this is a position of the column from the lookup value data. So this is the second column from the employee code. So I'll be mentioning 2, then comma. As I want to do the exact match, I'll be using the false, or you can write 0 instead of false. Then bracket off, then press enter. Now you can see name came automatically for the employee codes. I will be copying this formula and I will be pasting in all these cells for which I want to pull the name. Now you can see it has pulled the names. But here we need to understand the cell reference. So if you go to this first formula, you can see that the data what I have selected is A1 to G101. But if I go to the second cell, you can see it has changed. When I am copying this formula from first cell to second cell, it automatically adjusts its reference. So what I need to do to fix this, I need to use absolute cell reference. So I'll be fixing this by pressing F4. You can see A was the column, 1 is the row. So I use $sign before the column and row and I fix the range. When I press enter, I'll be copying this, I'll be pasting it again, and now you can see in the second formula the data is not changed. So please be cautious when pasting the VLOOKUP formula in different cells and use absolute cell reference. Now I will be using the same VLOOKUP formula to pull the country as well. When I press enter, you can see the country is coming. So what I need to do, I need to change the column index number. The column index number is the third column, which is the third position of the country in the dummy data. So when you go to dummy data, you can see the country name column is placed at the third position from the employee code column. Now I'll be copying this and I'll be pasting it. Now you can see it automatically pulls the country and names for these employee codes. So that is how Excel VLOOKUP formula is going to help. So it was just a basic understanding how you can use VLOOKUP formula. Now here we are going to learn how you can use VLOOKUP basis on 2 columns. When do we need to use this method? So suppose I have this employee code which is unique in this database, but there could be some instances when you will be working with VLOOKUP and your lookup value is not unique in the database. So let me create two employee codes here. So you can see there are two employee codes now in my database. Now if I want to pull the country name which is different for both the employee codes, so what I need to do, I need to create a unique value. I'll be using the same formula to pull the names for these employee codes. So E3. Now you can see I have pulled the names. So what I'll be going to do, I'll be creating a unique value in database itself. I'll be inserting one column here. I'll be mentioning it like unique values, then pressing enter. Then I'll be using concatenate function to create unique values with the help of name and employee code. Now you can see I have created the unique values. I'll be copying this formula. I'll be pressing Ctrl down arrow key to go at the last cell. Then I'll select this left cell. I'll be pressing Shift Ctrl up arrow key to select the entire cells and will paste it. Ctrl V. Now you can see I have created unique values. I will be using these unique values to pull the country in the VLOOKUP method. Now I'll be writing VLOOKUP, clicking on bracket, then employee code, press AND to connect two cells, and now employee code and name. But if you see my dummy data, I have picked the name first, then employee code in my unique value. So I need to select name first, then press AND, then press employee code, press comma, then table array. I'll be going to dummy data, selecting unique values, then H column, then selecting this entire data and pressing F4 to fix the range, then column index number. So I want to pull the country name. Now country name is mentioned in the fourth column. So I'll be mentioning 4, 0 is the exact match, then pressing enter. Now you can see I have pulled the country name. So suppose if I go here, if I use these two values and I paste it here, so you can see for the same employee code I picked the country names and both country names are different. So this can also help you to pull the values when you want to look up the values based on two columns. Now we'll be going to use name range VLOOKUP. What is name range VLOOKUP? There are some cases when your data is big and you cannot go again and again in the dummy data and selecting the data in your VLOOKUP. So what you need to do, you need to fix the data as a named range. So I will be selecting the entire data. Then I'll be go to formulas. I'll be clicking name manager. I'll be clicking new. I'll be clicking lookup underscore data. I'll be clicking OK. Now I have created a named range. I'll close this window. I'll go here. I'll write VLOOKUP, lookup value, then table array. So as I have created the named range for the database, so I'll write that name range which I have created, lookup underscore data. You can see it here. Then comma and the name. Name is the third column which is mentioned in the employee code. Then pressing enter. Now you can see it is showing #NA. So when I go back, I can see that the name is mentioned in the third column, but my lookup value column has changed to unique values. So either I can delete this, and if I go to name manager, you can see A1 to G101 is already adjusted. I'll be going back to VLOOKUP method. I'll be going here. I'll be writing I3 and then lookup data. Now name column position is second column. I'll be pressing enter. Then I'll be copying this and I'll be pasting it. Now you can see name are appeared here. I'll be using the same formula. I'll be pasting here and then I'll change the column index number for the country which is third. Now I'll be copying this. I'll be pasting it. Now it has pulled the country name. This is same as simple VLOOKUP, but it works when your database is big and you don't want to select your data again and again. You just pick the range as a named range and then you start using it. So that is how named range VLOOKUP works. Now we'll be going to explain table VLOOKUP when your origin data is in table format. So I'll be selecting this entire database. I'll be going to home. I'll be clicking on this format as table. Let me create this as a table. Now I have created a table. When I'll be going back to VLOOKUP, I'll be writing VLOOKUP bracket lookup value. You'll be selecting it. When you go back to your dummy data, so when I select this table, you can see it is showing table 1 all. I'll be pressing comma, then column index number. Column index number is the same thing like position of the column. So name is mentioned in the second column in the table. You will be mentioning 2 comma 0 and press bracket of press enter. When your origin data is in table format, you have no need to fix the data. You just need to select the table and just change these column index number and then press enter. Copy this formula, paste it. Now you can see it has pulled the names as well. Now I will be using the same formula to pull the country. I'll be pressing it here. I'll be changing the index number here 3. I'll be copying this, pasting it, and it has pulled the country names for these employee codes from the table. Now we need to understand when your table VLOOKUP for the destination data. So suppose if I convert this table in the table format and you want to use VLOOKUP, how you can do that? You can see this has changed in the table format. I'll be using VLOOKUP. It will be showing the employee code, then comma. Table array is your table 1. You can click on this table 1, comma 2, comma 0, then bracket of press enter. It has pulled the value. You'll be copying this, pasting it. So you can see it is not showing the cell reference. It is just showing the table column name. So hope you understand how you can use VLOOKUP when your origin and destination data is in table format. Now I will be going to show you how you can use alternative of VLOOKUP. When do you need to use alternative of VLOOKUP? VLOOKUP has some limitation. When your lookup data or lookup column is in the left side, then only you can use VLOOKUP. But suppose if your lookup column is in the right side, then what should we do? In that case, we'll be using this alternative of VLOOKUP. We'll be using index and match function to find out the value. We'll be writing index, then we'll be clicking bracket on. So array. Array is the column which I want to pull here. So I want to pull name. So I'll be selecting the name range. I'll be selecting this entire range. I'll be pressing F4. Then I'll be going back and pressing comma, then row number. I'll be finding the employee code row from this H column with the help of match function. It will show me the name of that respective row. So lookup value. So what is the lookup value? Lookup value is the employee code. Then you will press F4. You'll just fixing the column, then comma, lookup array. Lookup array is where you want to look up the row. So I'll be selecting this entire column. I'll be pressing F4, pressing 0 for exact match, comma. You can see column number is optional argument. You don't need to enter that. You press bracket off, press enter. Now you can see name came automatically with the help of index function when your lookup data is placed at the right side. Here you need to make sure that index array range and the match lookup array range should be same. So that is how you can use index and match function instead of VLOOKUP. It does not have any limitation whether your data is placed at the right side or the left side. So I hope that this will help you. Now I'm just copying this formula and pasting it to other rows. Now you can see it pulled the names. Now I'm copying it to the country column and pasting it. You can see it is still showing name. So what I need to do, I need to change the range reference for the name So I need to change it from name to the country column. So B column contains in dummy data names. I need to change it to C column, and now you can see C1 to C101. Pressing enter. Now it is showing country, and I'm just copying it or just filling it down by pressing Ctrl plus D. You can see that this works for the name and country. So that is how this is gonna work. Now we'll be calculating sales revenue and profit with the help of VLOOKUP method. What we need to do, we need to write VLOOKUP, selecting the lookup value, then lookup data, and then comma, column index number. So column index number is the fifth column from the employee code. So that is why we need to mention 5 in column index number argument. Then I'm just pressing 0 for the exact match, then bracket off, pressing enter. Now you can see the sales revenue. I'm copying this, pasting it to other rows. Now you can see the sales revenue. When I go back to profit, I want to calculate the profit on the basis of 20% on the sales revenue. So what I'll do, I'll multiply the sales revenue with 20%. But here you can see 20% is in this cell. I need to fix this cell because when I will drag it down, the percent cell will not change. Now I'm pasting it. So now you can see that it has calculated the profits. Now what I will be going to do, this data validation method helps when you have only one cell and when it changes with the lookup value. So what I need to do, I need to use the same formula, VLOOKUP, then pasting it in this cell, and now you can see the lookup value. So my lookup value here, it is positioned at E column. So E21, and lookup data, I'll be pressing enter. Then I'll be calculating by multiplying 20%. I need to fix this cell, press F4. Now you can see the profit and the sales revenue. When I go back to this employee code, here all the employee codes are listed in the drop down. And if I want to see any other employee code, sales revenue and profit, what I need to do, I just need to select or enter in this cell. You can see it has also changed automatically. So that is how this is gonna help you while making dashboards. So now I'm going to give you the master trick of this VLOOKUP. What is that? So while writing the VLOOKUP formula, you must have noticed that we were changing the column index number again and again. For that, we need to go back to the database and we need to check the column index number, whether the column index number is 4 or 5 depending on the column header. So writing this column index number again and again, this can be a tedious job, and it becomes more difficult when you have large data sets, when it contains 100 plus columns. So in that case, it is not possible to check the column position again and again by looking at the large data sets. So what we need to do in that case? So this is a dynamic way. We will be writing VLOOKUP formula with the similar method. Lookup value, then table array. Table array is my lookup data. Now I'm coming to this column index number. In column index number, I want it to be dynamic. So it should be automatically picked up by looking at the headers. So what I need to do, I need to use match function. What match function will do? Match function will find this lookup value in the column header row and give me the column index number automatically. So what I need to do, I need to write match, then lookup value. Lookup value is my column header. Then I'm pressing comma. I'm going back to my dummy data, and in the header I will be selecting this header and I will be fixing this range. I need to fix this A1 also. I need to fix this H1 also. Once I do this, then I will put comma and then I will be putting 0 for the exact match, and this match function will look up this header in my current data table from the dummy data and give me the column index number from there. So I'll be pressing comma, then pressing 0 for the exact match. and then bracket off. Now I'm entering this. Now it has picked it. When I will be copying this formula and I'll be pasting this formula to country name, it will automatically pull the country name for this employee code. But before that, I need to be cautious for the ranges. So let's see what I mean by that. I need to click here. I need to see I-21. So this is a relative reference. When I will be copying this formula from here to country name, it will change to the next column. So what I need to do, I need to fix the column, not the row. I'm fixing the column only, the I column. Row will change because I will be copying this formula to other rows. So I'll be fixing this only. Then I'll be going to match. In match, if you see the J20, J20 is the column header. I need to fix the row here because my column headers are in the 20th row. And when I press enter, you can see it is still coming. I'll be copying this, I'll be pasting in country name and it picked the country name automatically. And I haven't entered any column index number. Now suppose if I have sales revenue and I want to calculate that in the third column. I just need to copy the formula. I need to paste it here directly. So here also you can see that I didn't enter any column index number. So that is how this dynamic method is going to work. So let me copy these three formula, pasting it, and you can see everything is picked up automatically. So I hope that you like this dynamic way to do your VLOOKUP. Please give a like to this video and share it with your friends. And do not forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you.